Hi everyone. I read 10 books in the month of April. Let's talk about it. So the first book that I read in the month of April was Blue Nights by Joan Didion. This is a memoir about grief, motherhood, adoption, illness. I wanted so badly to like it, you know, because I've heard nothing but good things about Joan Didion as an author. But it was very disjointed, and I think it was intended to be that way. I think that was a vibe that was like intended, that she was going for. So like I respect the craft, but to be honest, it was kind of a disappointment. Next, I read My Lady's Choosing by Kitty Curran. Y'all, this is a pick-your-own-adventure romance novel, which, like, the idea of is so cool. Like, so cool. This has been on my TBR for ages. I was so excited to finally read it, and yet the execution of it was cringy and crappy and just not good. And I was so sad about it, because I think this idea is super unique and interesting, and honestly it deserved a better execution than it got. Sorry, Kitty. Next, I read The Barcode Tattoo by Suzanne Wynn. This is a good old Scholastic Book Fair pick. It's easily 10 years old. I've read it a zillion times. I loved this book as a tween because it was about breaking free from like government control and like mental like psychic powers and like rebelling, and you know, those are all like my shit. This holds up to the test of time. I didn't think it would. What makes me feel very old is that this was written this was published 2004. It's set in the far future for this, but it's in like the year 2025-ish, and yeah, it's set in the year like 2025, and it has like certain like futuristic things, and that's like 4 years away for us now. So that's kind of spooky. They would reference like songs from the early 2000s and be like, an ancient song that my mother used to sing, and it'd be like, I'm like a bird, I only fly away. And man, we're getting old. Time passes quickly, what can I say? Next, I read The Girls by Emma Cline. This is a fictionalization of the Manson murders set from the perspective of a queer girl who was in love with one of the girls in the cult who ended up killing. So the girl, our protagonist, ends up twisted in it, but she really isn't like super involved. They didn't change anything from the crimes. It wasn't super creative, and honestly I didn't like it that much. Actually, was this a good reading month? It might not have been, I'm not sure. Next, I read Blood Brothers, The Fatal Friendship Between Muhammad Ali and Malcolm X by Randy Roberts. This was a super interesting read. I had read Alex Haley's autobiography of Malcolm X in high school, and it was one of my favorites, but I haven't really read a lot about Muhammad Ali, mostly because I'm not a big sports person, if you can't tell from everything about me. This made Ali's sports career comprehensible to someone who had honestly no chance of comprehending it, and it showed their connection in like such a grand long-term scheme of things that it was super well researched. It's a very long game, and I really loved that about it. It also showed the good and the bad of both of these men, which I've said it before, I'll say it again. I think that is something that people who write these books really struggle with, is showing the good and the bad of people. And this book did a really good job of all of that. Next, I read The Road to Jonestown, Jim Jones and the People's Temple by Jeff Ginn. We're all about the nonfiction for some reason. This is a fairly complete telling of the origin of the People's Temple. I'll leave a link to articles below. This is one of my, I don't want to say favorite because that makes me sound like a psychopath, but I think this is super interesting. It's basically this socialist commune that started in the United States, and they moved to Guyana, and they ended up doing a mass suicide / mass murder of everyone in the cult. A U.S. senator / congressman, I can't remember which, was killed in this event. Some of the people that survived, like the guy's aide, the congressman's aide who was with him, survived that and now is a congresswoman in his exact position. I'll leave a link to an article down below. I think this is super interesting, and this book starts with Jim Jones' childhood and covers pretty much everything I'd ever wanted to know about it. So if you're ever interested, this is the way to go. Next, I did a fun little reread of Shadow and Bone by Leigh Bardugo because the show popped on up. First of all, this book was even better than I remembered. Leigh Bardugo is just such a good writer. Chef's kiss. Second, yo, this show was so good. My roommate and I watched it literally in one day. We just sat down and we watched the whole thing in one go. Spectacular. The casting was incredible. The acting was incredible. The set was incredible. Just so good. Top tier. If you haven't watched it yet, highly recommend giving it a watch. Next, I read How Fascism Works, The Politics of Us and Them by Jason F. Stanley. This was super interesting. It covers a good worldwide perspective. I was worried that it would focus too much in the United States because in my experience, books that try to deal with big social issues that are written by American authors have a hard time branching out, just because that's how Americans kind of work. We've been taught to think that way. But this does a very good job of showing a worldwide perspective, but still like showing the effect of that on the United States. Really good. Next, I finally got around to reading Graffiti by Savannah Brown. This poetry collection is one I've been trying to get around to for years, ever since it came out in, I feel like probably 2016-ish. My favorite poems from this collection were I Do Not Like the Feeling, Hum, and also a poem for Ohio. Obviously, Savannah Brown is never going to watch this video, but her career to me is just such a huge inspiration. It's so incredible. I see a lot of myself in her and I appreciate that. And I think that her gifts as a writer are just incredible, unparalleled. Finally, I read North and South by Elizabeth Gaskell. This is my first Gaskell book and I liked it. I loved Margaret, but her love interest, who she ends up ending up with, is just the most annoying piece of shit. There was this line where Thornton is like, I knew she could not be unmaidenly, and I was so mad. I don't know. On a craft level, obviously incredible, but I don't know, Jane Austen is forever first in my heart, so it was a little, I don't know, it didn't live up to what I was expecting. So, those are the books that I read in the month of April. Let me know if you read anything good this month. I hope you're doing real well. I hope you're staying safe. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you very soon. Bye.